going on? Jack Sauce, Eric here, and it is day 9 of the 2023 Bitter Pops Advent Calendar. Let's get into it, man. Saturday afternoon, my favorite time to have a beer right in the middle of the afternoon on a day when you're not doing much. I'm not much of a night owl anymore. So for me personally, the best tasting beer is the ones when you can have them during the day. It makes me happy. It makes me smile. So let's do a little bit of day drinking with day 9 of the 2023 Bitter Pops Advent Calendar. Let's get this thing opened up. It is the 9th day. Let's do this thing. We got a short can today. That's okay. It still tastes delicious. Let's see what we are doing here. This is American Solera. I can see my house from here. Coolship Hefeweizen. 4.6 APV. I know nothing about these guys. I don't even know where they're from. I've never heard of them. And that doesn't mean they're not delicious. And American Solera, I apologize. Where are you from? Let us find out. Oh, man, where are you? Tulsa, Oklahoma. Interesting. I once had a guy, this is no joke, this is always stuck in my brain. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Back when I was a bartender, I had a guy randomly tell me once that I would fit in perfectly in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that was 20 years ago, and it still sticks in my head. I don't know why. But American Solera, I can see my house from here. Cool looking can. Just don't know anything about this brewery, man. But Hefeweizen. Hefeweizen's a very famous style of beer. I mean, everybody's had a Hefeweizen. They're very, very popular. One of the most popular styles of beer in the world. They started in Germany in something like the mid 1400s or late 1400s. They brew with wheat. It has to have a nice heavy wheat beer balance, almost over 50%. A lot of them will use 60 to 70% wheat. Malted wheats in there as opposed to barley and whatnot. So, being a German beer, particularly from the southern German area of Bavaria, there were some issues, some hurdles they had to get through over the years, particularly the purity law, which started in like the 1400s, I believe. But in 1516 is when Bavaria brought in the purity law, the Bavarian Purity Law of 1516, which initially stated that you could only brew with 3 particular things. Water, obviously, hops, and barley. So wheat was out. They did this in particular to kind of make beer a little bit more approachable, a little bit more affordable. Bakers or whatnot that didn't have a lot of money could make beer and whatnot. So that was what the intention was. However, what it ended up producing is a little less quality, right? Big thing about Hefeweizen is yeast and wheat, okay? So Hefeweizen means, Hefe means yeast, and Weizen obviously means wheat. And these beers, you used wheat, and you used yeast in them. Well, this wasn't in the purity law. You weren't supposed to be allowed to do that. But because beer wasn't tasting all that great, people were doing it anyway. And actually, Bavarian Royals, Jack, what are you doing over here? Jackson is being something else. So, as I was saying, Bavarian Royals at the time didn't like the crappy beer that they were making with their own laws. They liked these wheated beers. So they made a mandate that allowed for a specific town on the border of the Czech Republic, Schwarzach, I want to say it is, the Schwarzach was allowed to produce a wheated beer. It was controlled by the Dukes of Derenburg, which became the Wittelbach family, and they controlled making wheat beers in Bavaria. Slowly but surely, they were allowing other breweries to make this beer, but it was still controlled by the Wittelbachs, and it was pretty popular. But by the 1700s, it lost popularity. The Wittelbachs didn't see the money in it anymore. And in 1778, they changed the rule that anybody in Bavaria could start making wheat beers. The wheat beers, Hefeweizens and whatnot, weren't that popular until the 1900s. It finally started catching back on. And then, of course, coming here to the United States with German immigrants, Hefeweizens become its own thing. To be a true German Hefeweizen, you have to use over 50% wheat in your beer. You have to use specific yeasts, ale yeasts, that are going to add to the color and the cloudiness that a Hefeweizen is known for. It suspends, the yeast proteins suspend in there, kind of very similar to like flocculation or in a hazy, giving it that beautiful mouthfeel, that beautiful color. These yeasts and these whatnot give off some spice aromas. They give off a lot of banana a lot of time. Some really cool stuff. Here in the United States, you can get a million different things. There's different styles of Weiss beers. You have Doppelbock, you have Doppelweizen, you have several others. Hefeweizen is just the most popular. Yeah, I'm rambling because I really don't know anything about this brewery, so I'm trying to sound smart, but let's just have the beer because it's really, really going. So like I said, Hefeweizens, Tend to be a little more cloudy than this one. There is the Hefeweizen Crystal something or other, which is a clearer style, where they use a specific malt that does make for a clearer style beer, or maybe it goes through a little filtration since it's the United States. It's still a fairly cloudy beer. It's really, look at how effervescent that is. And that's another indication of a well-made Hefeweizen. A lot of times they are pretty effervescent. But generally a Hefeweizen is going to kick like the banana notes that everyone knows, spices, baking spices, clove, whatnot. And that does exactly right here. They'll have a hoppy note to them a lot of times to kind of balance out the fruit and the spice. This one definitely has a hoppy note on the nose, but not overbearing. Little citrus from that hops, but the banana is there. Definitely some spices. Let's take a taste. Ooh, that's really nice. Tons of banana peel. There's a little bitterness to it, and I'm sure that's with hoppy, or a little bit of hops being added. The spices come through. This is not a heavy Weiss beer. This doesn't have a ton of the protein, the yeast just kind of holding on. Like, it doesn't sit heavy in your mouth. It's very light, very approachable, and very, very effervescent. Oh, man. I like that beer a lot. Tulsa, Oklahoma, huh? Maybe I would have fit in. I guess you guys have a pretty good brewing scene there. American Solera. I'm going to have to read about them. I really don't know much about them, except they make a pretty good Hefeweizen, I'm not going to lie. Light, refreshing, crisp, effervescent, banana peel, lemon, the spices are there, the clove, cardamom. Just really nice. Anyway, guys, happy Saturday. I'm going to enjoy this. I'll see you tomorrow.